right, good morning. Today is Tuesday, March the 9th. You need to make sure that you have your computer out and that you're logged into Schoology. You're going to click on your English course. And I want to go over this real quick. I need for everybody to pay attention to what their picture looks like for your class, okay? So this picture right here is for second period. When you log into Schoology, you should see this picture always at the top left. If you're in third period, you should always see this picture in the top left. If you're in fourth period, you should always see this picture in the top left. And if you're in fifth period, you should always see this picture. If you do not see your class picture, then you're going to need to click on courses and refresh your screen until the correct picture pops up in the top left-hand corner. If your picture is not correct, then what's going to happen is when you go to submit an assignment, it's not going to allow you to submit it. And it's all because of this picture. I don't understand the logistics behind it, but that's what it is. Okay. The other thing is it could be the wrong picture, but still logged in as Miss Wheelis. Okay. You're going to need to click courses and refresh. All right. So for today, you are going to click on English Language Arts. Okay. You're going to scroll break, both of you. Third 9 weeks. And you're going to scroll down to the bottom to where it says Module 7, March 8th through the 13th. And then today is Tuesday, March the 9th. So you're going to click on that folder, or you can just click on DGP 16, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You're going to open your assignment with Cami. All right. When mine pops up, it's very likely that I've already answered mine. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to go over this with you. Elijah. Where's it at? All right. So the word both, okay, this is a word that we have not had before. This is our first time having it this year. All right, but both is what we're going to call a correlative conjunction. All right, both is what we call a correlative conjunction. And those words are going to be not only, but also, neither nor, either or both and.
This is mine.
Okay.
And it tells you the registration. And Tom's doing this one too.
Okay.
So I don't know if you need to put that just basically times 2, and then when Tom gets his approved, but we're also giving my approved lead forms.
Yes,
So
that works.
So we're working on right now. But if you want to go ahead and put on the other, that's going to be times 2 for me and Tom.
I got you.
He's going to do this one as well.
Okay.
She said you were going to register.
I will. I got you. All right.
And you're going to put it on our email or?
It'll come to mine, and then I'm going to put everything together. And once I get it all together, I'll email everything to y'all. Okay? You're welcome. Okay, so a correlative conjunction. I want you to type this in. All right, correlative conjunctions are stronger than coordinating conjunctions and emphasize the relationship between the ideas being joined. Okay, so I need for you to type the sentence. All right, correlative conjunctions are stronger than coordinating conjunctions and emphasize the relationship between the ideas being joined. Okay, correlative conjunctions are stronger than coordinating conjunctions and emphasize the relationship between the ideas being joined. Okay, so basically In order for it to be a correlative conjunction, you have to have both of these words in the sentence, okay? And I've listed the pairs of words that you could possibly have. Not only, but also. Neither, nor. Either, or both and, okay? If you have one, you have to have the other for it to be a correlative conjunction. All right? So both is what we call a correlative conjunction. And I typed it out just because this is our first time dealing with it, but you can do CORR. Yes. Aubrey.
Yeah. I can do that. All right. Mine.
All right, what? Just we're going to get it. Okay, so Taylor is a proper noun because that is naming a specific person. All right, and is a coordinating conjunction. All right, and is a coordinating conjunction. Megan is a proper noun, so we're going to put a capital N above it because she names a specific person. Visited tells what Megan and Taylor are doing or what they did, okay? It is an action verb in the past tense. Visited is an action verb in the past tense. There is a third person possessive pronoun. It's showing ownership to friend, okay? It's talking about they and them or their. It's in the third person and it's possessive because it is talking about friend, okay? Friend is a common noun because we're not talking about a specific friend. We're talking about just a general friend, all right? In is a preposition. In is a preposition. And then Dallas, Texas is a proper noun because we're talking about a specific place. All right. We're going to go ahead and do Tuesday as well. And on Tuesday, we have to underline our subject and our predicate. We have to figure out if our verb is transitive or intransitive, if we have a prepositional phrase, what type of phrase it is. Okay. So our subject, who is this sentence about? No, who? It's about two people. Who is it about? Taylor and Megan. Okay. Taylor and Megan. So I'm going to go ahead and write an S above Taylor and Megan. They are what we call a compound subject. Okay, and the word compound means two or more. All right, it is a compound subject, two or more. And I may actually type that in down there. Okay, compound subject. All right, Taylor and Megan, compound subject. We're going to underline both Taylor and Megan one time and write an S above Taylor and write an S above Megan. Now, I drew a vertical line down in between Megan and visited. Can anyone tell me why I drew a vertical line there? Anyone tell me why I drew a vertical line? No, because what does it separate? Huh? What is when you're diagramming a sentence, what does a vertical line, the first vertical line do? Good job, Trey. It separates the complete subject and the complete predicate. Okay. So this vertical line tells me that my predicate is going to be after the vertical line. So I'm going to underline twice, visited their friend in Dallas, Texas. Now, do you have a prepositional phrase in this sentence? Yes. All right, in Dallas, Texas. So you need to put parentheses around in Dallas, Texas. Okay, then we have to identify our object of the preposition. Now, the object of the preposition is always going to be a noun or a pronoun in your prepositional phrase. Okay, what would be the object of the preposition in Dallas, Texas? What is the object of the preposition? Dallas, Texas is your OP. Now, does in Dallas, Texas tell us or describe what Taylor and Megan look like or something of that nature? Or does in Dallas, Texas tell us where Taylor and Megan are going? It tells us where. So that is an adverbial prepositional phrase. Adverbial prepositional phrase. Now, if I need to determine if my verb is transitive or intransitive, what two questions do I ask after my verb? Who or what? Okay, so Taylor and Megan visited who or visited what? Visited who? Friend. All right, friend. So friend is my direct object. So I'm going to write DO above it. Now, being I have a direct object, is my verb transitive or intransitive? It is transitive. So the abbreviation for a transitive verb is VT. What part of speech will a direct object always be? A noun or a pronoun. Okay, a direct object will always be a noun or a pronoun. Now, when you finish this part, you can go ahead and hit turn in, or if you want to wait until Thursday and submit it then, that's fine as well. Okay, when you finish it, you can go ahead and you can exit out here at the top. Ma'am. When you finish, you can go ahead and exit out at the top. And I want you to click on Literary Elements Guided Notes. Okay, you're going to click on Literary Elements Guided Notes. All right, so I want you to go back to Tuesday, March the 9th. And you are going to open up Literary Elements Guided Notes. Literary Elements Guided Notes, and you're going to open assignment with Cami. All right, and what you're going to notice about this handout, okay? Go ahead and write or type in your name up here at the top. Go ahead and type in your name at the top. All right, it says student handout on literary terms and elements of a story. Make sure you understand the following literary terms and elements of a story. There will be a quiz on the material following the study of the novel. Okay. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to do some notes with you, okay, in a PowerPoint presentation. What you're going to do is you are going to fill in these blanks as we go over it. Okay, you are going to fill in the blanks as we go over it. There are a total of 18 blanks and they count 2 points apiece. So this activity is going to be 36 points. Okay, this activity will be 36 points. It is for a grade. All right, so everyone needs to make sure that they are staying with me and that you are paying attention. Okay. All right. All right, the antagonist and protagonist of a story, okay? The two main characters of the story, the antagonist and the protagonist of the story are the two main characters of the story. All right, two main characters of the story. Now, the protagonist is the good guy of the story. Okay, the protagonist is the good guy of the story. So, who would you think would be the protagonist in Old Yeller? Travis. Okay, and Old Yeller. The antagonist is the one who is in conflict with the main character or the bad guy. Now, what does that word conflict mean? A fight or a problem or an issue. Okay, another word for conflict is going to be struggle, Riley. Yes. You're writing the words into the blank, okay? Another word for conflict is going to be a struggle. If you know what the word conflict means, you don't have to write it. Okay, now thinking back to Old Yeller, who would you say the antagonist is? The person that they dread. Bud Searcy. Okay, I would say Bud Searcy or possibly even Burton Sanderson, even though he doesn't end up taking the dog, like he is viewed as I guess you could say a threat until they make the decision not or until he allows little Arliss to keep Old Yeller. Okay. All right, setting of a story. The time and place in which the story is taking place. Okay, the time and place in which the story is taking place. Now, what is the setting of Old Yeller? It's in Texas. Anybody remember what year? Can you get your book out? It's in the first chapter, like on about the first or second page, it tells you. It takes, all right, the time period is 1860 and it takes place in Abilene, Texas. Okay. The point of view, the view or from whose perspective or viewpoint that the story is being presented. Okay, so who is telling the story? All right, I'm going to type that in right here. Who is telling the story? First person. All right, the narrator of a story is one of the characters from the story. Okay, the narrator of a story is one of the characters from the story. Now, if you think about Old Yeller, all right, if you think about Old Yeller, who is telling the story in Old Yeller? Travis, okay? So is Old Yeller told from the first person point of view or the third person point of view? First, okay? Travis tells the story. Yeah, you probably do need to know that. All right, the third person is the narrator of the story is not one of the characters from the story. Third person, the narrator of the story is not one of the characters from the story. All right, conflict. The struggle that is taking place in the story. Okay, the struggle or the problem, you can put problem, struggle, like you just need to know that it's an issue, a conflict, okay, that is taking place in a story. This can be either external or internal. Now, can anyone tell me the difference in external versus internal? All right, external is something that can be seen. Internal is something, a battle being fought within. It's something that's not visible or easily seen. Okay? Internal conflict. An internal or external struggle between what the character wants to do and what he feels he must do. An internal or shouldn't be external or emotional. All right. Let me fix that. All right. An internal or emotional struggle between what the character wants to do and what he feels he must do. Now, do you think Travis has an internal conflict at the beginning of the story? What would his internal conflict be? He doesn't want Old Yeller, and he has different reasons for not wanting Old Yeller. All right. The external conflict, the external problem that is standing in the way of the character and what he wants to accomplish. Standing. Okay. That is standing in the way of the character and what he wants to accomplish. External conflict. The external problem that is standing in the way of the character and what he wants to accomplish. So, what could be the external conflict in Old Yeller? Travis having to shoot Old Yeller, okay. What trouble does Old Yeller get into that Lisbeth tells Travis about? Old Yeller stealing food, okay? Could Old Yeller stealing food be an external problem that is standing in the way of the character and what he wants to accomplish? Yes, okay, because if they find out that Old Yeller is the one stealing the food, then somebody's going to want to possibly put Old Yeller down or punish Old Yeller for taking the food. Okay? All right, we're going to keep going. Climax. All right, climax. The part of the story, the part when the story reaches its most important point. Or I'm going to also put exciting point. Okay? The climax is something that is exciting or something that is important. It kind of makes you sit up on the edge of your seat and you wonder what's going to happen. Now, what do you think that the climax could be in Old Yeller? All right, when he has to shoot Old Yeller, or could it be when Old Yeller got bit by the wolf? That is most definitely a turning point in the novel because something bad has happened and they're about to have to do something about it. Okay? That's also something bad, yes. But hydrophobia is what ends up causing Old Yeller to have to be put down. Okay? All right, rising and falling action. Okay, the leads up to and follows the climax. Leads up to and follows the climax. All right, rising action, the main details in the story that lead up to the climax. Okay, so some of the main details in Old Yeller is going to be the incident with him and Jumper and the fields and the fence. Okay, it's going to be the bear fight, the cow fight, the hogs, and the wolf. All right, all of these are details or scenarios that lead up to the climax of the story. Okay, now after we reach the climax of the story, we've got to come down from that. Okay, and when we come down from it, that means that that's called the falling action. The main details that follow the climax of the story. The main details that follow the climax of the story. All right, so what happened after Old Yeller got attacked by the wolf? All right, put him in the corn crib. They ended up having to shoot him. All right, they ended up having to put him in the corn crib and they ended up having to shoot him. Yeah. All right, now for some reason this got left off, but I want you to type this in on your paper. Resolution. Resolution is the ending of the story. Okay, what happens? Resolution is the ending of the story. What actually happens? Okay, so in the resolution of this story, all right, Papa comes home, brings gifts, and Elizabeth brings one of Old Yeller's cups. It doesn't have to be in all caps. Yeah, you probably do need to write all of that. All right, narrative and dialogue. Listen, you are going to need to go back and study these terms and these definitions because you are going to have a test on these words. Okay, and what I'm going to do is just include it in with your Old Yeller final test, which will end up being next week. Okay, you will have an Old Yeller final test next week. All right, narrative and dialogue. Okay, both of these terms deal with speaking and writing and interaction, but one is something that you just read and the other is a conversation that you read between people. Okay? So narrative is text that text that explains a series of events. Text that explains a series of events. All right, and then dialogue is a shared conversation between two or more people. A shared conversation between two or more people. And the last thing that we're going to talk about today is foreshadowing, and that is when the author gives subtle hints to things that may happen later in the story. Now, you will think back to the very, very beginning of Old Yeller, even in chapter 1. They told us in chapter 1 what was going to happen to Old Yeller. All right. And even if it wasn't that they directly told us what was going to happen to Old Yeller, they alluded to what would happen to Old Yeller at the end of the story. Okay? So, foreshadowing is when the author gives subtle hints to things that may happen later in the story. There's a charger. Bryce, let him have the charger for a second. I thought I did, but I don't think I did. Yeah. If I find it, though, okay. It won't fit. It won't. Huh? It won't pull at all. Move your desk back just a little, like slide it over and pull it back. All right, so when you finish this, I want you to click turn in, turn in, turn in, turn in. You're going to wait and let it export. And then you are going to click submit. Okay. All right. Now I want you to I'm going to go back to Tuesday, March 9th. I don't want you to pull this up on your Schoology. I'm going to play it on the board up front. But I want you to pay attention to this video. All right. I want you to pay attention to this video. So you're gonna have to read the captions. It's using the Lion King and Inside Out. Hold on. It didn't start it from the beginning. The plot diagram, it kind of looks like a mountain, okay? It goes like this. It looks like a mountain, and then you have your exposition here, your rising action, your climax is at the top of the mountain, and then you have falling action, and then your resolution is down here at the bottom. Okay, pay attention. It uses the movie The Lion King and the movie Inside Out to help you learn the process of this. There's your mountain.
I would like to award you the highest Monster Math presents Addiction Below 10. Okay, class, let's begin. What is 5 plus 3? We can solve the problem by rotating on. We start
All right, listen, that is all for today.